Raise your glass, light the flame. Heroes gather, none the same. Song and story, fire and spark. Welcome to Hall of Heroes. Tavern Talk.
For the Hall.
For the Hall.
So here we are, episode 2 of
Here we are, we're the Hall.
We're the Hall of Heroes.
I hope everyone knows how often we quote ourselves.
We really do quote ourselves pretty constantly. So tonight's a very special episode because not only are we filming it live, but we're going live on our Discord channel.
Yes.
So that's something going forward where if you're interested in chatting with us live, you know, join our Discord, hop into the Hall Live channel, and join the chat. But our topic for tonight, what is the biggest misconception about Faire for the average person?
The biggest misconception, I think, for me, would be that you have to dress up.
That's true. I think for me, the first year I went, I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. I kind of got dragged along. It was honestly like later in the afternoon. I think we showed up at maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I got in. I'm pretty sure it was probably the last weekend or close to it that year. And I'm just kind of walking around. And I didn't really realize that there was that many people that actually garbed up for it.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people don't believe me. They're like, no, I won't dress up and I'll be fine. And then they get there and they're like, oh. Yeah,
you feel naked.
No.
You totally feel naked. Which is kind of where I took things to my extreme when I just decided, okay, I'm going to buy all this leather, the armor, all the accessories and everything. And I would go from there.
For the Hall.
For the Hall. Yes, we have live chat up.
Is that our thing though? If somebody says it in the chat, we have to say it out loud.
Whenever somebody says "for the Hall" in the chat, I have to take a drink. This could be a very dangerous game.
I mean, you can do the same with me, but I'm just drinking Monster, so all you're going to do is make me go whoop.
And of course, we've got Hamant ready to egg me on. Yep, there it is. For the Hall.
No, but going back to what I was saying though, is while you will feel that way when you come to your first fair, if you don't dress up, you don't feel like you can't come back if you don't have garb. That's the thing, is I've seen people then, be like, oh, I can't, like, I gotta get all my stuff together. And it's like, no, you can just come as you are.
Yeah. Well, even last year when Ben, the brewer from Hearsay, like, he just showed up in a white button-up long sleeve shirt. He had his, pretty sure it was like brown pants or something. And he was just chilling, hanging out, having a time.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go all out.
Well, and there's all those, I've seen people come in and like buy those funny t-shirts that they have up at the front and then go from there, you know?
See, as Hamant's saying,
that will never stop me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have to have
but that's the funny part. It's like
intricate garb.
Some of the people that have intricate garb that you're like jealous of, literally just patchwork put together pieces of fabric. I swear to God, half the Ren community, that's what it is. We're just piecing together fabric.
And even for mine, like, I've got a lot of different pieces from a lot of different places that I've thrown together to create the entire look. Yeah. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things for Rennies is if you have a specific idea in mind, you're not necessarily just going to shop at one spot to find it. Yeah. You're going to look different places to find whatever piece complements what you're going for.
Well, and God forbid you get to the point where then you have more garb like me. Then, like, I was just looking at an old picture of, how I say I used to garb all my friends up. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at an old picture. It's what made me think of putting this on today, actually. And my friend Mel was wearing my silver corset and my green black skirt and this. And I'm like, I've never put that together for myself. I'm like, but I love it. Like, why
Yeah.
have I not done that? So it's interesting too how once you get like a lot of different pieces, how the different pieces will go together and you
Yeah.
won't necessarily think of it.
Well, and that was actually kind of a funny thing when I was doing, or when I first started Hall of Heroes. I had a lot of like coworkers or even just a few of my regulars that just didn't really have the different pieces of garb that they wanted. So, like I told you earlier in like one of our first episodes, I ended up settling on Fawn Forge for my armor. But before that, I had kind of got a little bit screwed over by a fake Fawn Forge copycat on Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the leather was still
which is
good
running
leather.
rampant. That is something
it's getting
that
worse.
Small business is fighting tooth and friggin' nail. It's ridiculous.
But so I ended up taking that armor, and it's kind of currently scattered between, I think, 2 or 3 different people at this point. Like, they've just taken different pieces of it and made a kit out of it.
Yeah.
And then, well, Seamus, I gave him my metal pauldrons until we all took turns punching it. And we broke one of the shoulders, and I honestly don't know what happened to the other one. I think he kept it, but I'm not sure.
I feel like there's a theme here because I also remember a certain night with the helmet and you guys all beating the crap out of each other with the helmet.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, there's a theme with you guys.
Well, you know, one of our hall anthems we're going to be drinking?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know how we normally do, like, the foot stomp?
Yeah.
Which
I didn't get at first.
Yeah. Well,
now I do.
Yeah. When the beat would hit and we'd normally foot stomp, when Seamus was next to me wearing the metal pauldrons, instead of stomping my foot, I'd just punch him in the pauldron. And it made like the most satisfying clink.
Dong. That's funny.
It was like hitting almost like a cymbal. Because it was...
Oh, gotcha. That's like what that's the same sound the helmet made, realistically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which also, that was a pretty good video clip that we got out of that, where we were all just taking turns hitting Seamus and Ruben upside the head with the practice swords.
I have a ton from that night. Unfortunately, I am starting to get to the point where like we have so much content that I do unfortunately tend to reuse some of the same stuff because it's hard to go back through and repick through. I mean, we have thousands of videos now at this point, and it's only going to get worse now that
worse or better.
No, I don't mean that in a bad way because everything's getting, we're learning what we want to record now and whatnot too. But there's just so much already.
Oh yeah. Well, and with every different fair we go to, every different event we throw, our shenanigans really know no bounds.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the point, really.
God, I have that B-roll footage. Yeah. I mean, realistically, we still have like a ton of footage. I'm still finding, like, that's why randomly you'll see a post, where I'll just be like, yep, I have one saved in the draft. So it's like reason 6,342 why I can never use the real sound because there's always someone saying something dumb in the background or something.
It's me. I'm the one
weird.
Saying dumb shit.
No, it's the one where like I've used it a lot in the video. It's the one where the day we were going to do the guild
the guild games.
Yeah.
RIP Guild Games 2024.
I walked up to you and we did like a little video and you're like shaking your head. Right before you shake your head, somebody says, "Do we have the blindfold?" And you just like shake your head. And I know what we're talking about because it was part of the game.
Yeah.
Like,
the guild games that we thought were going to happen at noon that apparently started at 11.
There was all kinds of nobody
such a kerfuffle.
Had an idea.
But it's all right. It's all right. It's okay. Us Rennies, we're a little chaotic. Technically speaking, the assassins were the last ones that were standing around at the end, so I still say we won. Sorry, guys. Last one standing. Everybody left.
Fight us.
I'll cut you.
No, but that's a really good segue into, the initial question was, what was it? The misconception the common folk have about fair as a whole is, that's going to be a video coming out this week is...
What is a Rennie?
What is a Rennie?
Yep.
A little bit deeper dive.
Yep, we're going to do a deep dive pretty much in our alter ego personas in the hall and in the guild.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. They couldn't handle the greatness of the assassins. They all left. Yep. But yeah, that's honestly one of the big things, especially, coming back to starting Hall of Heroes. One of the first things people started asking me when we all started garbing up and doing this like on a weekly basis, where do I get gear like that?
That's hard.
Where can I get the armor? Where can I find like everything you're wearing under the armor?
Yeah.
I want to know how do I start on this journey?
Yep.
And realistically, that's a question nobody really gets answered when they first come into it, because for the most part, usually people are kind of pushed towards Amazon or
that's what I was going to say. Is that's
like
the hard
Temu
part
and stuff
for nowadays. Is that like, up until that stuff wasn't around like 5-10 years ago, and it was, where do you get garb? At fairs. You either get it at fairs or you get them at the little like holistic shops that are around, kind of in different places. But there wasn't Amazon to be able to go. Like, this bodice is technically one of the Amazon bodices. I only bought this because I was testing to see
if you could actually find something of quality,
even semi-decent quality on Amazon. And I will say, they're not bad. They're not the best. I've had handmade bodices, and there's a reason they cost money.
Yeah. But
these aren't bad, especially when you're in a pinch. And I mean, I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do. You want to look cute at fair. You only want to spend like $50. You don't want to put in hundreds of dollars. People have more options now. It is unfortunate for small businesses because, some people.
And that is also another point, is people can get overwhelmed and freak out thinking, okay, where do I start? Where do I find stuff?
Yeah.
Where do I even know how to look for, what's quality versus what's just going to be cheap and garbage?
Yeah.
And honestly, like, that's the hardest part, is especially if you're ordering stuff online, it's going to be a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Unless
always look at the reviews is always just like the best, advice is. People seem to get overwhelmed and freak out too. Oh yeah, that's what he was. Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I said, I ordered my brown set of copycat Fawn Forge leather, and what's weird is they actually had a lot of reviews, and people were like, "Oh, this is great. This is exactly what I ordered." But you never know if those are fake reviews. Mm-hmm. So it's really difficult to actually kind of dig through all the mud and realize, okay, here's the diamond hiding underneath.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why sometimes it is just nice just to get it at. That's why fair is so much fun, and you just got to save up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another misconception that I definitely see at fairs, where like people go to it and they're like, okay, I got to go get a turkey leg. That's like a fair staple. And it's like, no, you want to live, fair. Go get a quesadilla at fair.
There has not been a single fair I've been to where I'm just like, and I'm not even talking just Michigan Renaissance. It's a festival thing anywhere. Any fair usually tends to have the turkey leg. And so far, I have not been impressed by a single turkey leg I've ever eaten. Any of them. Like I would, like you were just about to say, go elsewhere.
Yeah.
The quesadillas.
The quesadillas are
the bomb at Murph.
Life-changing experiences.
Oh my gosh, they're right next to the burgers, which are, I think they're the barbarian burgers.
Yeah,
right?
The barbarian burgers are phenomenal. Those are, right across from the Guinness pub. Definitely. Well, and that's the thing that we found out when we were doing the cleanup weekend at Murph, is that's all run by the same people.
Yeah.
So the barbarian burger, same kitchen staff as who's doing like the quesadillas and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Which delicioso. Everybody who's running that.
Huge fans. Love you. We will eat your food always.
My son loves the steak. Only the steak.
Well, we don't really have him eating quesadillas yet. I don't think he's really aware of the glory of a solid quesadilla.
He's got a thing with skin. So, like, if he sees, I think he thinks the quesadillas, like,
the tortillas,
like skin. You saw what he was doing with hot dogs today, is he peels the skin off. If the skin is a problem, he's like, ugh, and he puts it on, and I'm just like, ew. Like, but he's got a weird thing with that right now. So,
yeah.
I almost asked them last year if they would just Like,
can I just get a side of steak?
just gonna get a side of steak pieces because he loves them.
I mean, same though. I would totally just be happy
I would
eating
eat
like
just
a
like a
whole
bowl.
like bowl of steak.
That's
Just give me
like an
steak and
option
cheese,
they
I'm
should
done.
offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a gluten-free even option or whatever. Well, I guess without, you'd have to not have the cheese. And I want the cheese.
Yep.
But like a little bowl, that would be a good.
Yeah, I'd be a fan. Oh, yeah, that'll happen.
Well, I think for Discord, it's picking up
Just this
this
microphone,
mic,
yeah.
which isn't like close to me.
We can reposition.
So if I step away in any form, hopefully my mic is recording on my phone. Otherwise, I'm just going to chuck it.
Well, there we go. Now it's turned both ways. Cool.
There you go. That should help make it so I'm picking it.
Perfect.
As we just stare at him.
We're just like, is it working? Tell us, Precious, does it work?
Wackadoodles.
But yeah, so that's actually a really good point, though, is there's so much to do at Faire. And the thing that a lot of people don't really pay attention to is like the lane performers.
Yes.
Which more often than not are so much more entertaining than, when you're sitting at a stage and you're surrounded by people, it's 80, 90 degrees and you're rubbing elbows. Not as fun as just walking past somebody who's going to personally interact with you one-on-one and put on a show like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I adore all the shows, though.
Well, the shows are great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't go enjoy the shows, but also, don't ignore the people that are actually participating and performing in the walkways.
Yeah, and are off to the side and whatnot. And I mean, a lot of times, though, they get in people's face, too, and, like, will make you interact, which is funny, depending. The pickle guys are always my favorite.
I mean, I have a soft spot in my heart for Nisa the Gnome.
Well, yep.
I did kind of go a little above and beyond with the Knights versus Gnomes theme last summer.
Yeah.
And I definitely was gnome hunting all season last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say there's ever been a time in my life that I haven't looked at a pickle jar and just gone, pickle, pickle, pickle.
You randomly do that just in general.
I do. It's one of my favorite.
Throughout the day, you'll say some other word, but you'll do it in the pickle, pickle, pickle.
Because it's the best little tune. It's... Well, and again, I don't know what it's like to be a normie. I grew up as a Rennie.
Yeah.
I've grown up with these little... the pickle guy is saying that for 25 years.
You've had the quirks just kind of programmed into you from childhood.
Yeah, it's like a stim for me at this point. I'm just like, pickle, pickle, pickle.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? We had technical issues.
Again? Shock! Lightning crackle, lightning crackle, lightning crackle.
Shock and awe. I can't.
Well,
just every
for the haul,
freaking time.
Gonna have to drink for that.
For the haul. God.
Caw.
It's just one weird technical issue after another because it's not even the same one. That's the dumb part. It's once we tackle one, the universe is just like, ha ha ha.
Yeah. But hey,
here's another one.
We found an upgrade. And
we did.
Apparently that upgrade has lied in my phone this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. So anyway, here we are.
Pickle, pickle, pickle.
There it is. Back to the lane performers. So that's really the big thing is, give credit to the lane performers because they're awesome. We adore most of them. We know a lot of them.
Yeah.
And
they're good people.
Yeah. And that brings us to trinket
and a lot
trading.
of times they're sometimes really funny. Really funny.
Oh, yeah. A lot are beyond hilarious. Well, and that's the thing, going back to Nisa the Gnome, she tells hilarious stories.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are, well, I'm not going to spoil it. Go find the gnome. Figure it out for yourself.
We adore her. Go
Yep.
follow her on
All social media.
on everywhere, anywhere she is. And I'm assuming she'll be at Murph this year.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. Hope to see her.
I know she was just down in Florida, I believe, for the Bay Area Renaissance Festival. Yeah, she's been all over, and it's really awesome to, you know, just kind of see how the Rennie circuit works for a lot of people. And it's cool to know that, you know, once Michigan's over, a lot of the performers get to move on and do other shows.
That has been interesting to see, like, who goes where, because everybody goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, I think everybody just has different preferences depending, but...
Well, and that kind of goes with any major event, really.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have your favorite spots, whether it's the way the crowd is or the way the venue treats you. It's all a matter of preference, really.
Yeah. And probably, you know, too, like, whatever you're performing at as well. And a lot of them interchange, too. That's what's funny to get to know is, like, when Rebecca the other day, she came up, she's just like, yeah, I was going to work this weekend at this fair, but they wanted me to be an ogre, and I can't do face paint on my face for that long.
Yeah. And
I'm just like, what a world you live in. Like, how awesome is that like you get to just be like, I was gonna be an ogre this weekend, but nah. Like,
welcome to our world. This is what we do. But yeah, I mean, going into the next topic though, trinket trading. Michigan Renaissance Festival is bringing it back this year. Mm-hmm. But please, no food or drinks. Yeah. For anyone.
No food, no drinks, and especially for small children, but even for children in general, I would say always ask the parents. Yeah. For consent because, you know, I'm always right there with my kiddo. Yeah. If you come up to me and you're like, hey, I got a little, you know, trinket gift for him. Wonderful. Yeah. I had a lady give an adorable bag, little pirate bags to Seth
to the boys.
And Z.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, they love those.
They did. They adore. They still play with the spyglasses that came out of them.
They had the 2 little spyglasses, one for each of them. Yep. Like a little bit of pirate treasure, a couple other like little toys.
Yes, one of the rocks. You know the rocks that Seth is obsessed with. Seth is obsessed with these little. I think they're called dragon rocks, and he loves them. The little colored ones.
Off shaped like rhomboid.
Yeah, they're not gems. Like a normal shape at all. He loves them. Loves them. And people keep giving them to him. He was so excited by the end of fair. Yeah. He had like 14 of them.
He's got quite the little treasure chest growing up.
Mm-hmm. Both of them do. Between that and Z's little pirate coins.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Just so many. But yeah, no, you know, trinket trading is back. It's fun. Kids love it, but, you know, stick to something.
But also, fun. What is trinket trading? So if you're new to the fair community and you keep hearing about trinket trading, honestly, it's like these, you can give like a little plastic toy or...
Yeah, think like a teeny, those little tiny, like when you see those little tiny ducks or those little tiny mushrooms or those little tiny gift things and you're like, why do people buy these? It's for trinket trading.
Honestly, a lot of it is for trinket trading. And like you were saying, the kids, oh God.
Yeah, I've seen people take those little...
a collection of trinkets.
Like these little vials. I've seen people take ones like these that are a little smaller than this and like they put little rocks in them or they put little, you know...
Or even they do like little resin, acrylic designs and whatnot on the inside. It's really cool.
That's cool. I know I still have Natasha's. She made the 2 little potion bottles with the little ghosties in them. I have those sitting upstairs. Yeah. It's cute.
So that's, you know, with trinket trading, like we said, consent is everything, especially when it comes to kids. Ask the parents if it's okay to give them something because, come on now.
Never just hand something directly to a child, especially because, you know, they could put it in their mouth and everything.
Depending on the age, they probably will put it in their mouth.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, no, but I'm excited to see it because last year was really fun when it was available in the beginning. Yeah. But then by the end, because we only really ended up at Michigan Fair last year. So,
well, then we also went to Ohio the weekend after.
Oh, we did.
Yep.
We did.
Which,
and that's
stomach issues aside,
going back to the food thing, is that was another thing for me, is like, again, like turkey legs aren't necessarily my favorite, but
they're kind of like a staple.
Well, they're a staple, but like Ohio, I felt like had a lot more food options. Like they had these little, like, I know you had your issues with food, but I really liked, they had these, what was it? The tater tots, but they had crab inside of them, and then the like sauce, the little spicy sauce that was over top of it. So good. That was really good.
Well, our last video that you put up on YouTube in the shorts,
that
hanging with the whole crew.
Yeah.
The whiskey barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tastes like victory. It smells like victory.
It tasted,
and whiskey. Nom.
Yeah, it tasted as good as it looked, too. So.
Well, yeah, because me and Christian just huddled over your little tray of it and we devoured it.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, this was for you? Sorry.
Oops. No, but that was, I enjoyed going around and taste testing. And that's what I've enjoyed about at Michigan Renaissance Fairs, walking around, like looking at a lot more food and whatnot. I'm going to flip my phone upside down so I don't look at it.
Fair. Well, yeah, that was also the big thing, is you had no idea the Cubans at Michigan Renaissance Festival. You're like, what the hell is that? I'm like, come on, we'll go for a walk.
Yeah. And then, funny enough, weirdly, now I've gotten addicted to the bad version of the Cuban, because the day that we bought it for the first time,
they didn't have the pulled pork.
They didn't have pulled pork.
Yeah, it was basically just like the ham, cheese, and mustard and
pickles.
Yeah.
And pickles inside of the pita bread.
And you were like, oh, this is amazing.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
So the next time you went and they actually had the pulled pork that day, you're like, oh,
I was like,
can I get it without this?
Yeah, I'm like, can I get it with the ham instead? Drink tasting was more my speed.
Well, that's that too.
That's something we could try, but that would have to be on a one of the kid-free days, and then two.
Yeah, one of the kid-free days.
We need a driver.
Well, I have some thoughts on that, but we'll circle back to that at a later time. Yeah, that's also the big thing. Is I really want to try the whiskey tasting. Yeah,
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, because you know me.
I feel like
I'm currently tasting whiskey as we record.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I didn't. That was what was funny about kind of going and cleaning up Memphis. We got to see some of the behind the scenes and whatnot, and some of those signs are still up and advertising what happens at fair.
Yeah,
and there were several things like that I was just like, we gotta make sure we go see that
and that's
this
the
year.
Thing is, we walk past that area so many times.
Yeah.
But I think we're especially in that little corner, when we walk by there, we're usually on our way somewhere else.
Right. Or
and especially like with the guild stuff, like we're constantly being stopped to talk about guild stuff, and it's awesome.
No, we don't mind it, but if I ever so if you come up to us and you're like, hey, and I'm ever like, we gotta go, I'm so sorry. It's because we gotta go. Yeah. Or I'm on a mission, because I'm on a mission this year. I'm gonna see some of the shows. I'm gonna go walk around and look at all the booths at least 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah, last year, and that's the crazy part. Last year was great for us, but at the same time, our attention was just pulled in so many directions, from being the new guild at Murph and having to just go and talk to everybody about any little thing.
Well, and for me, I was just following you around because it was my first time outside in 4 years. So,
Welcome to my world. Chaos. Also, yes, hydrate or dihydrate at fair.
You always have water. Make sure you have water, and make sure you have your own water. Because not that I'm saying that, anything bad about any fair, but always make sure you have your own backup anything.
Even if you've got a case of water in the trunk of your car.
Just in your car. Yeah, obviously don't bring it inside, but have something as a backup in your car that you can go to just in case, because
you never know.
It's always a good idea.
Also, sometimes, if you don't bring cash, ATMs might run out of cash.
They do
depending on how
sometimes.
many people are there.
Mm-hmm.
And, not all vendors can actually use the square readers to run a card.
Yeah.
Especially on those busier days where there's like 40, 50,000 people there.
Yeah.
Like the service just drops to zero.
Right. So the service drops. So even the ATMs have a hard time connecting. So like it could be that everything's almost like disconnected and we're back in like real life fair mode where it's like, yeah, you got to just have, real cash with you. Otherwise you're not going to be able to get anything. And always bring more than you think. Because you will always spend more than you think at
You
fair.
will.
Every time. Every time.
Especially if you're bringing kiddos. Because you're going to see things, you want to buy them. You're going to see things they're going to want you to buy for them. And then...
oh my God, this last fair we went to, he comes up to me and says, I would like this dragon, please. And I was like, do you have money? Like...
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes midday naps are really good in the parking lot too. And especially on a hot summer day, if you like to just go turn on the air.
And that's one of the big things,
in the
especially for the Michigan Renaissance Festival. It starts in August. It ends late September.
Yeah.
And usually you're looking at 80, 90 degree days, and not everybody is well equipped for that.
Yep.
Not everyone can be a 6'5" heathen like me who was born to wear black leather and never break a sweat.
I still don't know how you do that, because I'm like, it's 1,000 degrees. How are you not sweating? I'm like, I'm beet red, sweating to death. We have our face paint on,
and I'm
you
just
can't even
chill,
tell on me.
hanging out. It's that, it's that
you're
Mediterranean
just like,
in me.
It's fine. Like, I wasn't built for this.
It's okay. It's fine.
I have all the ish blood. I'm built for the cold, but not really, because I can't handle that either. So,
but that's also a good point, is always keep water, maybe some snacks in your car.
Yeah.
Because you can go out, you just get a stamp that says you're, allowed back in.
Yeah. Yeah. You can leave the fair and then come back.
Yeah.
That's something you're
allowed
to do.
You can go out to your car, hydrate.
Most fairs allow
food,
you to do that.
Do what you got to do to survive, because the day is long. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon.
Yeah. Well, if you're staying for the whole day, but that's the other thing I think you forget too, is there's a lot of people that just come to the fair. And if you're not coming for a full day, then yeah, you don't have to worry about anything what we're saying.
Yeah.
But if you're come to fair for a day and do the fair experience, then you're going to be there from the morning till the end.
But also, my routine going into fair. Like on the drive in,
Chaos.
I chug a Gatorade on the road. We get there, I slam another Gatorade, and then we walk in.
And then you usually have to pee.
Yeah. Bladder of a 3-year-old some days.
Yeah, see, I don't usually prepare like that. I usually just make sure I'm nice and hungry, because I just go in and I'm like, all right, to the coffee shop and then to whatever food fits my needs for the moment.
Yeah.
That's all I ever want is
You like coffee, snacks.
Yeah. As long as I can eat.
But also, gentlemen,
and drink.
If you are bringing your significant other to fair, get her coffee and snacks immediately. It's going to be a long, hot day. Make sure she's energized and has a full tummy.
Mm-hmm. I don't even have to ask anymore. It just shows up with you. You're just like, here, drink this. Stop being mean.
Yeah. Just untying.
No, it keeps untying. This is a horrible cord and it's slippery. And so it keeps untying itself. I don't like this type of cord.
Other misconception at fair. Garb malfunctions. Happens all the time. You might break a strap. You might break a piece of string or something that's holding your entire outfit together.
Okay, and girls, enough with the heels at fair. Okay? Most fairs
are muddy, uneven terrain,
dirty and uneven, and just, it's the little strappy, even the chunky. No, I don't care how cute it is with your fairy outfit. I don't care how cute it is with your outfit in general. No.
You are a liability.
If I see one more TikTok about some girl breaking her little tiny strap at fair, stop it. Wear boots, or you don't even have to wear boots. Like there's moccasins you can get online. You know what? I need to look for that. That's something I'm going to know. I'm going to look for like faux moccasins. I have the moccasins from Fair. If you want comfortable shoes to get from Fair, get the moccasins. They're not that expensive. They're the most comfortable, breezy, best shoes you'll ever have.
It's actually funny you mentioned that, because the first year I went to Fair and Garb, I went with Seamus. And the first thing he said was, "We're going, I need moccasins."
Yeah.
And I'll be damned if he didn't leave there with moccasins immediately.
I just found a video from 12 years ago. That was the first year I got my moccasins. You've seen them.
Yeah.
They look still perfect condition, and I've had them for 12 years.
Which also kind of goes back to another misconception at Fair. People walk in, they look at the vendors, and they complain about the prices. Don't. Just shut up.
Especially
Buy
the leather.
something, because it's going to last.
Yeah.
It's going to last you longer than
yes and
most.
no, because I will say that we are spoiled, and we go to a fair that is mostly run with handmade vendors that have been doing this for 20 plus years. I have heard some things, and this is where I'd love to start going to some other fairs and some other newer fairs out of state. The only thing I will say is if you're at a newer fair, be careful of some of the folks that are trying to sell Temu and Etsy items, or not Etsy,
Temu and Amazon
stuff, and that kind of stuff as handmade. But at least in Michigan, I will say all of the vendors there, amazing.
And the thing is, we work
and
with
especially the moccasin vendors, they're right in the front corner.
But we also work with a lot of these
vendors,
so we can actually vouch for it, because we have a lot of them vending at our events, and we can definitely say that Michigan has some quality artists and artisans that they make amazing work, and it's built to last.
Yeah.
And that's something you really can't put a price on.
Some of the most unique items too. That's something that I like about our vendors, is they make some of the, like we've got handmade pen vendors. We've got, the steel. That's what I'm trying to think of. The dragon, whatever. I can't think of it. What is your necklace? What is that? The
chainmail?
Chainmail. There we go.
Mm-hmm. We have chainmail. We have scale mail vendors.
Scale mail. That was the word I was trying to think of. I'm like, I can't come up with it.
Yeah, we have a lot of amazing vendors that show up, and honestly, it's a blessing for our events to be able to have them there, because we know what quality items they have, because we've bought from a lot of them at Michigan Renaissance Festival, and to have them show up to our events is just huge for us. Like,
a lot of times
we adore that.
I joke that, it's like, you guys think I'm putting on these events for you. Ha ha ha. It's for me to go shopping.
Yeah, it's definitely a corpy shopping spree most days. God's help our wallets.
Well, mostly you with it. Every time I'm near a weapons shop, I love it. I just go in. I literally, at this last one, just went in and was like, oh my God, I love this.
All right, go upstairs and get it.
This knife.
Not joking.
Yeah, I have to go get it. Yeah.
Yep. So the story she's about to tell is how we just went to Canterbury Village Medieval Fair, and myself and one of our generals in the guild, Siegfried, we went to one of our favorite weapon vendors, Brethren Armory, and
Brethren of the Great Lakes,
she had been eyeing this blade the entire day, and we just couldn't let her leave without it, which is kind of the bane of my existence.
You say the entire day. Okay, let me tell the story. I literally went up and was like, oh my God, I love this because it has my symbol on it. And for those that don't know, the triquetra is my symbol. Yes, it's also the symbol of my favorite show. That's unrelated. But I was like, oh, I love it. And then the next thing I know, you're doing some weird sneaky stuff and we're going off, and Siegfried is not following us. And I was like, okay, weird. And then we come back later and your sister takes off with the kids. And I was like, wait a second. And you're like, no, I've got something. And so we go over there and she just hands me this. And I was like, do I really get to take this home? So yeah, this is my new baby. Yeah.
Buy her a blade. Always buy her a blade.
So, she's nice.
And that's a beautiful weapon. That is full tang.
Well, and
that is
it's solid too. And so the girls.
Well, it was funny when you posted it. My
this.
mom's like, "Are you starting a tree trimming service?" And I'm like, "Mom, you don't even know the stuff that I have. Did you just cut yourself?"
No.
No. Uh-huh. Yep. It's fine. It's just a flesh wound.
I'm fine.
Tastes like iron and victory.
No.
But don't always give her a sharp blade.
Yeah, my other one isn't. It's not an actual blade. No, but what was funny is, and the girls will appreciate this, is like all day my belt that I normally wear wasn't fitting right because the leather is loosening and I can't put another hole in it because there's no space for it.
Well, it's got that like braided setup like around the back of the waist.
Yeah, it's braided, but then it's got this open gap and then there's the belt itself. So I've got a hole to the last part that I can where it's not open.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tighten it any further. So it literally kept popping off all day at the fair and I was getting really annoyed. And then you gave me this.
And it just kept upright.
I tucked it into my belt and it literally just like sealed it back. And I was like, oh, perfect. So it's meant to be. I needed it.
Yeah.
I love it. My blade collection is growing.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah. Well, you got to catch up to me. So I've got...
Catch up to you? Okay.
I've got 4 on the wall. Got like 3 more over there. 1 in my car. 2 in my car.
So I get like
4.
I only have 2 so far. So
5. No, and my throwing knives. So I've got like 6 more. That's
You've got like 15.
Viewed. I've got a lot of blades.
Okay, so you heard it. You heard it all. That I need 15 more blades.
Shit. Well, here we go.
Yay!
And that's not even including my axe.
16.
We'll see. But yeah, so that's, one of the best parts is if you're going to any fair, definitely know that what you're going to get there is usually going to be a lot better than what you find online.
It's going to be, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, there is something to be said for shopping in person versus shopping online for certain things. You can shop online for towels. Yeah, sure. That's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Or even an accessory for your phone. Yeah. But like garb is really hard to shop online for, or even to showcase work.
Well, and that's another thing is a lot of the different pieces, they will fit you while you're there.
Yeah.
So if you are unsure of, okay, well, is this size going to fit? They're going to let you try it on.
Yeah.
And that definitely beats just ordering something online and being like, oh, this is not American sizing.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've bought things like that. Like some of the kids stuff. I was trying to get some little garb for the boys and you saw.
You accidentally ordered something that fits Z more than Seth.
Yeah, it fits him now perfectly this year. Those little pants and his little pirate pants he has technically, and I still gotta get that Viking tunic out for you.
Yeah,
but I was just like, I said 4 to 5T, and these like medium size kids clothes come, and I was like, what the hell is this? So,
but that also is another thing that I want to go to is probably a big misconception at fair is a lot of people might think, okay, well, this is for adults only because there's like some raunchiness to it. There's different themes, but no, it is definitely family friendly. There is a lot.
It's like Disney humor. It's like,
yeah,
it's
like the parents will understand it. The kids will have no clue.
Yeah.
Until they're like teenagers, and then they'll be like, wait a second.
They're like, I know what you're saying, you know?
And that's honestly great, though, is there's something for everybody at fair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
at every fair.
Yeah.
Not just Murph. There's more than just Murph.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, though. Is like going to any fair, like you never really... A lot of people feel like, okay, well, this fair is this way, so every fair is this way. And that's not necessarily the case, because there's those fairs that are like historically accurate and they are very by the book. They kind of follow the SCA guidelines.
Right.
Which is cool, by all means. I love those too.
Yeah. But I'm interested to see how like the new fairs are going to come along, because there's definitely a lot more new ones that are at least trying to come out, and there's a combination of folks now, of the folks that like the true to history, but then also like mixing fantasy.
Yeah, I feel like there's kind of a fantasy revolution happening.
Yes.
Which I don't hate as a fantasy author and somebody who does not wear traditional garb 90% of the time. Yeah, I'm into it.
Well, what is traditional at this point anymore? I mean, that's the thing, is like the folks that argue, oh, it's not traditional Ren Faire garb. Neither are fairies, neither are gnomes, you know, like none of that is traditional or real, you know, depending on who you're talking to. So like, just let people be, you know.
I mean, at least in our case, as an assassin leader, at least I'm Middle Eastern. I get to keep that OG thread among us.
So yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any other, you know, misconceptions that I've heard other than just, you know, people thinking that they have to dress up or they have to act a certain way. It's just all you got to do is be nice, be friendly, and go have fun.
Be respectful, you know.
And nobody will care.
Like, respect the space as much as you respect the people too.
Yes.
That's the big thing with us, is because at the end of the day, we look at most fairs is that's just home to us.
Yeah.
Like we get to be more of ourselves in that atmosphere than we do in a typical day-to-day setting, driving to the gas station.
Yeah, and the normies love it. That's what's so funny about it, is like, you guys are so cute. Because like there's so many people that come up and are like, can I take your picture? Can I, like, especially when we had all the assassins together and we had the flag. There was so many people that were like, can we take your guys' picture together? Like group picture. Like you get pictures all the time. Once you're in your armor, people are constantly asking you for photos. But
guilty. You
know, it's like it's fun then too when people do it, even to me or to the group or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're just, it's like you can tell like the little nerd in them like comes out and they're just like, ee! Like like it's one thing when you do it for kids, but like when grown adults are also getting excited about it, it's fun. And that's supposed to be the whole point, is life is supposed to be fun. We aren't here to just
don't
work
take yourself
and die.
Seriously, because we don't.
Yeah, like you don't have to be so serious about life.
And especially with Hall of Heroes, we don't half-ass it, we whole-ass it.
Yeah.
And we're pretty good at that. Tell me what is on the agenda for our YouTube channel.
So Hall of Heroes has some really cool content that both Kurvka and Corpy have been working on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little segment called Corpy's Corner that's going to be coming out, which is basically just me forcing myself to do all the things that I want to do, but I need a motivator. So welcome. You're my motivator.
Yep.
And my first episode I recorded today is me.
She cooked me a leg of lamb, and I am forever happy.
Yeah. Yep. So my challenge was we were looking through, I have 3 recipe books that I never, ever use. I've had them for years. I have a ton of recipe books that I've been wanting to make recipes out of. And so we were going through, and he challenged me to make a leg of lamb because he didn't think that I could make it as good as he does. And I proved him wrong. And you can see in the video, you can hear his comments.
The retaliation episode of Kurvka's Chaos, I will show you my method of making a leg of lamb, which is oddly similar, but with a secret ingredient that you don't know about.
Oh, see, I'm looking forward to that. So that's really the point of Corpy's Corner.
It's definitely not poison.
Is I'm going to be teaching myself new recipes and then posting them. So if you want to make them too, coolio. You know, that's fun. It won't just be recipes though all the time, because I also just got a Tracy. I almost said I just got a Tracy. No, I just got a sewing machine. Thanks to Tracy. I did talk about that last episode, but I'm going to use Corpy's Corner as a way to force myself to continue doing projects, even when I'm angry about the sewing machine needle, which happens sometimes.
So much channeled rage in those words.
It's okay. Tracy said she'd come help me figure it out, and we'll figure it out together.
So also on top of that, you know, we are going to actually have another segment that we will be recording probably shortly, if not tomorrow.
Which we don't necessarily have
a Rennie?
Yes. So that'll be another video that's coming out. Not necessarily, we're kind of just doing more videos. Just like we just want to put out more videos. So we thought we'd start with what is a Rennie, and do a deep dive into what the term means.
And then you can also join me into the shadows, as I will be doing a deep dive in fantasy world building, whether you are an author or a tabletop role-playing dungeon master.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I will explain the process that went into creating the world for the storyline of Hall of Heroes, as well as my homebrew campaign setting that I've been using for years.
Yay!
So,
plus, we'll be putting out more ASMR content, because we do know there's some folks that have really, really enjoyed that.
You've made some pretty solid background noise videos.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, well, it's funny because you started making them specifically as just like background ambiance for our events.
Well, okay, the very first one I made was a fireplace one that I wanted for myself. I made it for me.
Like, I want to watch a fire and not have to go to Netflix to do so.
Right. I just wanted a very
time of year.
Specific, like, fire ambience, no music, no nothing, whatever. And I was like, I'm just going to throw something together. And I did. I figured out how to put it together. And I was like, this is actually kind of nice. This is really cool. So then I started putting together more. So the first few that I put out were literally just made for myself. And then I started thinking of a few, like you asked me for the tavern one because of, you know, D&D and whatnot. And the steampunk one was supposed to be for the steampunk event. We forgot to put it on, but
oops.
Oh well.
We had a lot going on that day.
But yeah, so they've been really fun, and like I said, you know, people have liked them. So they're really cool and easy to make. So I will be putting out more of that too. We will be putting out more of that because you helped me come up with the ideas, and then I just like kind of put it to paper. So yeah, it's been really fun. We're kicking up our content.
Also, weird side note, I didn't realize how deep this hood on my cloak is. So that was total.
You threw that over your head, and I was just like, oh, bye-bye. Like, that's it. I have the video where I was like, Krivka, are you in there?
Yep. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm not in here. But anyway, with all of the new content that's going to be coming out on our channel, you know, we thank everyone for sticking through, watching all of our Tavern Talk episodes.
Yep.
Keeping up with all of our shorts, following us on social media. You guys are the push that keeps us going. Yes. And we thank you for that.
Like, big push. We've gotten so much support, and we appreciate everybody for continuing.
So, with that said, you know, follow us.
Like, follow, subscribe. You can also subscribe to our email subscription list on our website. And we may or may not be starting a newsletter soon. I was hoping for this month, but I'm not sure that's going to be happening this month. So
join our Discord channel, chat with us, get to know us. And, you know, as we are recording these Tavern Talk episodes, we will have the live Discord chat up for you to keep up with us.
You're going to have to stay on your toes, though, with that, though, because we tend to just record when we can because we have kiddos. So what we'll try to do...
Well, you'll receive a notification once you join the Discord channel when we're about to go live.
When we're about to go live.
Yep.
But I figured we'll try to post earlier in the day, too, to like be like, hey, we're gonna go live tonight, so people can be aware.
Yep.
And whatnot. And come on if you want to. So.
Yeah, for sure. And as always, for the haul.
For the haul.
That was a good clink.
That was a good clink.
All for one and one the same. Heroes are who earn their name. Steel and fire shape their fate. Step within, hear cries of late. Legends whisper through the night. Echoes dance in golden light. Raise your glass, light the flame. Heroes gather, none the same. Song and story, fire and spark. Welcome to Hall of Heroes. Tavern Talk. Swords will clash and sparks will fly. Dreams are born and none will die. Every heart will find its way through the dark into the day. Legends whisper through the night. Echoes dance in golden light. Welcome to the Hall of Heroes, where the brave become the stories. Raise your voice and sing.